now for math. Our math page is going to be starting on lesson 9. Wait a minute. Is it dark? Can you see me? Oh, hey, Miss Brittany, can you turn on the lights, please? Okay, let me turn my nose off. Hey guys, let's get this way. I think it'll be a little easier if we do this in the light. What do you think? Okay, we'll get started. Lesson 9-3, pages 391 to 394. Subtract, regroup tens and ones. Okay, on your directions on the front of your page, remember this is the one with the blue. This is our practice page. It will tell you subtract, regroup tens as ones. There are 465 people on the train. Then 256 people get off the train. How many people are left on the train? And it says subtract 465 minus 256. Now if you want to, you can on the side. Go ahead and do it vertically because it's a little harder to do it horizontally. Okay, and then you can see they have the examples by seeing the boxes that have 100s in them, and you see the groups of 10 and you see the groups of 1. There are not enough ones to subtract 6 ones from 5 ones. Regroup 1 10 as 10 ones, and it shows you how they do this by putting the square around it and moving it over. Now here it says after regrouping, there are enough ones to subtract 6 ones from 15 ones. And so they do that. And it shows you here, and it does it in the different colors for the different rows. And it says regroup 6 tens, 5 ones is 5 tens, and 15 ones. So instead of having 465, you see it has 4, and the regrouping of 5, and the regrouping of 15. And then you begin to subtract. Okay, 15 minus 6 is 9. 5 minus 5 is 0. And then 4 minus 2 is 2. There are 209 people left on the train. This is a really good example. And now we're going to do our practice on the next page. Make sure you turn now to page 392. Okay, on 392, we're just simply subtracting, and then we're deciding where we need to regroup. And that is what we're going to do right now. Okay, so here you go. We have 0 minus 4. If you have 0, you can't take 4 away. So what we need to do is we need to borrow from the 10s. We cross the 6 out. And remember, if you're taking one group away from the 6, that means it has to be a 5. You're taking 1 away. 1 less than 6 is 5. And then you take that group of 10s over here, and you cross out the 0, because now it is 10. Don't forget the reason why is because this is like saying 10 plus 0, and that equals what is on top. Now, 10 minus 4 is 6. 5 minus 1 is 4. And then 3 minus 1 is 2. So your answer should be 246. Now, let's go to the next one. Now remember, you can pause this video anytime it takes you a little longer to do this. So if you need to, just pause it and then wait for the next one. Here we go, let's look at this. 682 minus 26. Now, we cannot take, if we have 2, you cannot take 6 away, right? So, you have to borrow again. You have to regroup the 8. And the 8 now will become 1 less than 8, which is what? That's right, 7. So this will become 7. And then what does that 2 become? That's right, it'll become 12. Because you added 10 plus 2, which equals 12. Okay, now we subtract 12 minus 6 is 6. 7 minus 2 is 5. And then remember, if there's nothing here, it's like a 0. Just bring that right down, and that is 6. So our answer is 656. Okay, let's go to the next one. We have 7 minus 9. Well, you can't take 9 away from 7 because 7 is a bigger number. Remember, the answer is not 2 because the 9 is not on the top. The 9 is on the bottom. The 7 is smaller than the 9. So we must regroup. We must borrow from the 10s. So let's come over here, cross out that 3. And what is 1 less than 3? That's right, it's 2. So we'll put 2. And then what do we have to do to that 7? That's right, we make it a 17. because it's like saying 10 plus 7, because we borrowed a group of 10s. So this will be 17. Now we'll subtract that. 17 minus 9, which is 8. And this is super easy. 2 minus nothing. 2 minus 0 is 2. Now, 5 minus 5 is 0. And unless you're doing decimals, if it's the first number, you do not need to put the 0 in. The answer, 28, is okay, and that will continue that way. Now, let's look at our number 4 through 7. Again, we're going to subtract, and we're going to regroup where needed. So let's look. We have 3 minus 4. Well, 3 is real close to 4, but 3 is still smaller. The answer is not 1, because the 4 is not on the top. The 3 is on the top, and it is smaller. So, let's look. So we have to borrow from the 6, borrow from the 10s, and the 6 will now become 1 less. What comes before 6? That's right, 5. So 5. And then the 3 becomes a 13, because this is like saying 10 plus 3, because you added that 10s there. Now 13 minus 4 is 9, and 5 minus 4, super easy, 1. And then again, it's like a 0 being here. Bring that straight down, and that is a 2. So your answer is 219. Okay, now let's go to number 5. Number 5, again, it's 1 minus 5. We can't take 1 away. Or we cannot take 5 from 1, because it's just 1. So we have to borrow again. We have to regroup the 8. The 8, what is 1 less than 8? You got it, 7. So, and then we make the 1 into 11, because you remember to add the 10 to that 1. Now, 11 minus 5 is 6, 7 minus 4 is 3, and then 7 minus 3 is 4. So your answer is 436. Okay, now let's go to number 6. We have 5 minus 7. Again, remember, it's not 2, because the 7 is not on the top. The 5 is, and 5 is smaller than 7, so we need to regroup. So let's take away one group of 10s from the 7, which will be 6, and then we'll make the 5 into a 15. So 15 minus 7 is 8, and then 6 minus 3 is 3, and then 5 minus 3 is 2. So your answer is 238. Now let's go to this last one and see. There's a 0 minus 5. Well, we know if you have 0, you can't take 5 away. So we're going to have to borrow again from the 10s. And here from the 10s, we're going to make this into a 0, because what is less than 1? 0. Okay, so now we're going to make this 0 into a 10. So you have 10 minus 5 is 5. 0 minus 0, 0. And then 9 minus 3. What's 9 minus 3? That's right, 6. Okay, so you have 605 as your answer for that one. Okay, now number 8. Number 8, it says, a flower shop has 172 roses, and 58 roses are pink, and the other roses are red. So how many red roses are there? So I wrote down 172 roses, 58 pink roses, and the difference will be how many red roses there are. So let's look at this. Okay, we cannot subtract 8 from 2. So we have to borrow from the 10s. And here we borrow, and this becomes a 6. And then of course this becomes a 12. And then you have 12 minus 8, which is 4. And then you have 6 minus 5. That's easy. There's only a difference of 1 between them. And then you bring this one down, because it's like having a 0 there at 1. So your answer is 114 red roses is how many they have. Now, on the last one, we have Nora subtracted 526 minus 319. Is she correct? And it shows what Nora did. And it shows her subtraction. But is she right? No. Because because what did she forget to do? It's no, because 6 minus 9 is not 3. She acted as though she was subtracting 6 from 9, but it wasn't, because the 6 is on the top, not the 9, so she did it incorrectly. The top number is smaller, so she must regroup. So let's look at that over here. So this is the correct way she should have done it. She should have known she had to borrow from the tens, and the 2 would become 1, and then the 6 would become 16. So now she can subtract it correctly. So let's do this correctly. Okay, 16 minus 9 is going to be 7. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. And then 5 minus 3 is 2. So the answer should have been 207. So that is what our conclusion today for our work. But tomorrow, you will be doing the black, the one with the black on the top, page 393 and 394. You will be doing the same thing as we did in this section for the front of page 393. And parents, there's something on the top of that page that will help you as well. And then you'll, on 1 through 4, you again will subtract and regroup where you need to regroup. And on 5 through 8, it is very difficult to do this sideways. So if you want to get a piece of paper or just put it out to the side and subtract it so it's up and down instead of sideways, then that'll be much easier to get a correct answer. Now on number 9, your parents will have to help you with this probably. There are 325 tickets for a play. The box office sells 218 tickets. How many tickets are left? So you will need to subtract that to get the answer. Put it out to the side and put it vertically. Don't forget too, all this will line up because you have ones, tens, and hundreds. But if you ever don't, you have to line them up with the place value. Now on the bottom one, it says Tyler subtracted 352 minus 129. Is he correct? And it will show you over here what it is. And you will see the mistake that Tyler made. So look at his mistake and then write down why he made a mistake. And that's it for today's math. I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.